Hello and welcome to our first Soul Circle. It is March 4th, 2025. We're excited to get these groups together and recorded so that everyone can meet us, the legacy team, and see our faces and get to know who we are and what we're all about and how we're doing on any specific Soul Circle day. My name is Corley and I am part of the legacy team, and we are here to check out the cosmic collective and understand what's going on for everybody and bring it back home to what's going on with ourselves. The way we do this is we introduce ourselves and then we say one name, one word that represents how we're feeling today. And then that just helps to get a good feel for what is going on our personal level. And then KJ is going to go ahead and talk us through our cosmic update, and we'll be able to hash through how each of us is doing so that hopefully we can get some good juicy information from each other and just feel that connection go from here. So again, my name is Corley and today I'm feeling scattered.
I'll jump in and just introduce myself. I'm Katie. I am also part of the legacy team, and today I'm feeling very happy to be here. And I feel a couple of things at once. I definitely feeling a lot of gratitude today, and then today also feels like a day that makes you feel humble.
I'm KJ, part of the team as well. My word for the day is curious. We're in such a dynamic energy pocket right now. So I am very curious and excited to see what's going to happen. That being said, we usually start our soul circles with a little cosmic update. And we're going to make fun of this a little bit up front with a funny clip that you can watch now, or you can just skip it.
Lean in. I have something very important to tell you. The Pluto-baked ZD is happening. That means the sun is going to conjugate Pluto in the 37th degree of the caprese salad, and this is unheard of. If you are a Red Lobster rising, this means it is all you can eat shrimp fest. Your wash cycle sign is going to pull your spin directly into the labia majora. The universe has put Mercury in the microwave, and you know because there is something that you're feeling. And someone you love deeply who is in the house of the rising croissant has crabs. What this means for a capybara is that your Ray Liotta rising is going to be your key to the universe. Your birth chart is your guide. It holds all the answers and simply follow it. Your leotard will find your Ford Taurus in the 4th house. Open your eyes, manifest, and the big skinny dipper is calling to you.
Astrology resonates with many people, and some people are just not interested. We do share this every soul circle. Use it as you like. If it doesn't resonate with you, feel free to skip forward. It's just we use it as a container to get some direction up front and know what everybody might be dealing with at this time. With that, I'm going to just share briefly. We're in a super exciting time. If you haven't already felt that, it's out there. I'm going to look at this soul circle at a big transit that is Venus retrograde, and it covers a month. I would just, in this particular soul circle, I would like to just look at part of that, the first part of that, where Venus is transiting backward into Aries and the dynamics that's going to create for everyone, basically. The feeling of that journey as it transits through Aries will change when it moves. It will continue to move backward all the way through Pisces. And so there's going to be a distinct, different flavor through this month. But the retrograde started on Friday on 3/1. And Venus will move direct in April, on April 12th. 2 weeks after that, we have our first eclipse. So this basically becomes an eclipse sandwich. Venus eclipses Venus. So it's a very interesting dynamic. So let's discuss that. Venus, when she's in retrograde, it appears to us that she's moving backward and that she's falling under the horizon down into the dark. She goes down and disappears into the darkness. In the safe place, that's where she's doing her inner work. And by doing that, she's setting the stage energetically for us to follow her as well. In that safe place of darkness, she works on healing herself, creating internal transformation, creating intimacy with self. And then as she reemerges at the end of the retrograde, as she rises in the sky as the morning star, which you can see every morning when the retrograde is over. It's beautiful to look at that in the sunrise. As she does that, it's a wonderful example of renewal and rebirth as we've sunk into the darkness and done all that work that we know we need to do. So that being said, I'm going to say the theme of this period is tend to your inner beloved. And I love that phrasing because how often do you think of yourself as your beloved? There's something that I'm really working on in my own life. As Venus is making her dive into the depths, Mercury is also stationing retrograde for 2 days later. And so they are doing that at the very same degrees in Aries, which is significant, but we won't even go there. But the way it looks in a chart, they look like they're dancing, and it's beautiful. Mercury and Venus dancing through the sky, helping us to heal. The interesting about that combination is that Venus is the psychology of how we listen to others and how we connect with our own inner reality, while Mercury is the physiology of hearing and how we order that data in our internal reality. So as they're dancing, a dance of how we listen and how we hear and how that affects us. So keep that in mind when you're working through the things that are going to pop up this month, because it's going to be a crazy month. And think about it this way, when you combine those two things, there will be a lot of essential information, a lot of new thoughts, a lot of information that will be important in shaping your internal life as well as your relationships, your essential learning and life changes. So this is a great opportunity to have growth in all of those areas. This is also a period that allows time for authentic self-discovery from a deeper place within, clarifying and expanding your own self-worth, self-esteem, self-value, knowing yourself from a deeper place within. Here are just some questions you might contemplate or journal about. How are you affirming your own needs? How are you affirming your own needs for freedom? Am I foregoing my own needs in order to please others? What communication do I need to enact to move my life forward using my own life and my own soul? If you'll spend some time contemplating those things, facing your internal emotions around those, I think that you're going to find a lot of value in this Venus retrograde section of time. If the theme was tend to your inner beloved, here are the keywords: self-trust, self-leadership, courage to individuate, courage to face fears, and pause before reacting. All important things this month. So with all that said, I'll pitch it over to you ladies to talk about what you've been dealing with on your journey.
I would love to jump in here. I already had a personal story I was going to come and share. It's what I've been going through here lately, and it's been really big for me, but it ties so well into everything you just said, KJ. And so I always feel like that's what always happens whenever we come here and we learn about what's happening in the universe and in the world and what's happening with each other. And then I know I've heard Corley say before, there's medicine that takes place in a circle. And part of that comes from sharing what's happening with you and your story and your experience. So I also wanted to share this story because I feel like it ties back into what we're even just doing in the app and in this community. And the reason I initially was going to share it is just to show like when you take the time to just reflect over the last month or the last year or how things are unfolding when you start doing your inner work, there's so much to notice there. And it just, like you were saying too, KJ, the dance that takes place there is just really nice to see. And it can be really gratifying. So, jumping into my story, I'm a mom and we homeschool, and we've got our 2 boys here on our farm. So, it's me and my boys often. And if something's wrong with one of my kids, I can just see it right away. But my oldest, he started doing this habit of licking his face. And so that was like whatever kids just do things. That was about a year ago. And so it turned into this habit, snowballed where it'll make your face dry. And so you lick it more. And so I'm like trying to wrap my brain around it and get somewhere with this. And in the meantime, it's basically getting worse. I'm a really holistic kind of parent. So I'm like trying this and trying that. And people have their suggestions. And it's getting to a point where people are like, what's that on your face when he like goes places because he's getting like little red spots. And I actually had that when I was a kid. And it is like a nervousness. There's a few layers there, but mostly it's just, stop licking your face. But as a kid, especially if you have any kind of sensory stuff, that's just not what the answer is going to be. So as time went on, this just weighed heavier and heavier on my heart as a mama. And I'm like trying to figure it out. And it's getting worse and worse. And then, so Corley over here is a really good friend of mine. And she's also a craniosacral therapist. And then she has frequencies in her office that she plays while she works on her clients. And so I bring my son there and he has the frequencies done and he has a craniosacral session done. And somewhere in that time, it dawns on me, I had looked through his human design chart and saw that deep down in his human design chart, his environment is supposed to be a human environment. And for me, I think my son's session brought his system to a place where he could finally let it go. It brought my system to a place where I could finally do this deep dive. That's what I was thinking of what you're saying, KJ, is like that darkness before the light. It got so dark for me because you could just imagine that culmination in those layers. And it all feels like it's your fault when your mom. Basically, we had this session, we had the frequencies, and he had us releasing. And then it just dawned on me with that human design chart. The humidity, he needs humidity. I'm like trying all these different things like spraying. Of course, every single night I put chapstick and aquaphor on him and it just didn't touch it, didn't do anything. We got him a humidifier. And this is a whole conversation in and of itself, but you can charge water through frequencies. So I'm charging the water in the humidifier with the frequencies that he needs. And it is not an issue anymore. Like he does not, it doesn't even come up in any way. Like I don't even have to put chapstick on him anymore. The frequencies, the inner work, me staying, in tune to what my senses are and what my intuition is telling me in a humidifier. And we're done with this whole long saga. I think that ties into me feeling really grateful right now. And we do have a place in the community for tips and tricks. And so I'm like, let me scream this from the rooftops to any parent who's dealing with anything like that. Trust your intuition and get in communities and groups where people are here to help you without judgment, truly. And it makes life so much more enriched and so much easier.
I love how you put together those things and they do connect to the themes that are going on. Even still, for me, things that KJ said, like I said, my word for today was scattered, so bear with me. I'm talking about transiting backwards and retrogrades and all this and that. For me, that doesn't resonate. That doesn't make sense in my brain. But so whenever those things are explained that Venus is going backwards, she's going into the depth of where she's going and whatever it is that you're working on in that topic. And then you find what it is you need. and then you're able to move forward. For me, whenever you said things to think about, it was pause before reacting. In my human design, I am meant to respond. And so pausing before reacting is huge for me, is huge for me. And it's day in and day out. It's whether you're reacting to the dog barking too loud or kid interrupting you or someone saying something that you didn't like or the flow doesn't feel right or whatever it is. Right? Traffic, good example. It always ends up coming back to your inner beloved. And for me, my inner beloved and the relationship with inner beloved is my reality will always reflect what's going on deep inside myself. And however many times that comes up, it's always true. And even if I don't want it to be true and I want to blame someone else or something else, it's always, always something that's going on within me. So when I say, yeah, I'm bringing the word scattered to the circle, I'm not trying to share scattered, but until I go and do my deeper work and help to nourish my inner beloved and what it is I'm actually needing on whatever level that is for me, I will never be able to respond from a better place than where I started. So to me, all of that ties together and it's so foundational in what it is that we do here in the app and within our community and with ourselves every day as a lifestyle is you have to go down to, okay, I'm feeling this certain way. Where in my system am I holding that? Why am I feeling this way? Not even why am I feeling this way, but what do I need to feel okay? What do I need to feel better? What do I need to feel more coherent? What do I need to be able to respond from a place of that's already transitioned instead of that original place? Like we're always working to alchemize and change and transform and recalibrate our systems and our nervous systems. And so when we use those frequencies, we got to know what that is. So like right now, I'm feeling scattered. If I think about it, I go down to the root of what that is. I can think about when I was a little kid, my room was an absolute wreck and I could never find anything I wanted to play with. And I would just walk in there and not even know what to play with because everything was so scattered. So like for me, that can take it down to a deeper foundation. It was like, what did I actually need when my room was a complete wreck? I needed accountability and I needed a schedule and a routine and I needed to get rid of a bunch of stuff because it was too much. It's just overwhelming. So I can take those 3 things and apply them to my life right now. There are things that I need to clean out of my closet. There are things that I don't need my brain to be worried about right now. There's a routine of this is probably going to be necessary for me to be able to function and continue doing anything because if I let myself get overwhelmed and it's too messy and it's too much, it's just more than I actually need. So if all of that is too much and more than I actually need, what is it I do need? I actually need simplicity and I need a safe structure and I need a clear vision. So even then it's continues to transform into my current day today. So that absolutely helps me all the time. And when you were talking about, when you first said something about Venus retrograde, it was like transiting backwards into Aries. I've been working with this idea of like motherhood, and you don't have to have your own physical children to experience motherhood. You can be a mother to a pet. You can be a mother to yourself. You can be a mother to a project. You can be a mother to a team. You can be a mother to your plants. Motherhood can be a lot of different things. And to me, motherhood is like constantly checking in with every little thing that you're doing and pretty much everything I just said. For me to be a good mother, I have to put myself first and put that inner beloved first and figure out what it is I need so that I don't continue to put scattered energy onto my plants or scattered energy onto my dogs and their routine and all of that. For me, that inner beloved definitely is speaking to me.
I love how you brought up your inner child too. So I'm a generator, so I feel like I do best whenever I'm responding also. And so whenever you brought up your inner child, it made me think back to my son and how close he was to his human design, that like he is doing this habit he can't stop because he knows what it is that he needs more than I know what he needs. And so, like you said, staying open and then trusting and knowing that inner beloved, and that even if it's crazy or even if it's out of the norm, like you do know what you need more than anybody else knows what you need. And so that just jumped out at me with all that.
I love what y'all have shared. Yeah, one of the things, my word is curious, and along with that goes fascination. Is I am fascinated by the spiritual journey that we're all on and the things that we are learning along the way and how they complement each other. We've been working together for years now on this, sharing, journaling, diving deeper, and I've come to realize, I can't speak for everyone in the group, but I've come to realize that the healing journey is not just a circle. You don't just, I'm going to heal this. I do all the steps, healed, done. It's a spiral and things keep coming back. And that's represented also in the astrology. Like I talked about the eclipse sandwich. So this Venus is going to contain two eclipses. Eclipses come in big cycles and circles. So the eclipse we're about to go into is a set of eclipses that the first one was in 2009. The next one was in 2017, and now it's gonna be brought to an end in 2025. And because I've been paying attention on my journey, I can go back and look, what was I dealing with in 2009 and 2017? And lo and behold, it's the very same thing I'm dealing with now, which is I'm forgoing my own needs in order to please others. And I'm seeing it, I can see it now on those 3 levels of I did the healing I needed to do on that first cycle. Then came another cycle, other healing to be done, and now I still have some more to finish up. And so I love that term, listening to your inner beloved, because my inner beloved is telling me I need to find the courage to individuate and to self-express my own authentic self over trying to just please others, because my unique gifts are what those others need. And nobody else can bring that. And that's true for all of us. All the puzzles and the scatteredness and the things you're figuring out with your kids. We're all doing that together. We're all on that same journey, and we can all lift each other up and give the gifts that we have that are unique to each one of us. I love that about astrology, sorry.
I'll share this too. Whenever you were saying you went back to 2009, 2017, and 2025, I used to think, I have no idea what year it is. I have no concept of what I was like keeping track of anything that was significant at those times. Yeah, I might have been journaling, but I don't remember what that is now. But as soon as you said it, I think it's becoming easier and easier to remember and to recall, especially if you know what you're working through right now. Then you can be like, oh, at around this time in my life, that structure was this, or that was that. For me, it's structure. That's what that came up for me, and that comes back to the scattered feeling. So for me, I'm working on the divine masculine through this whole motherhood process. Like as a mother, I have to have that divine structure that is solid and safe and available for the feminine to flow through. And so in 2009, I felt in my structure, I felt lost. At that time in my life, I had no idea which way was up, and my life reflected that in every way. And then in 2017, fast forwarding, I was relearning what structure is and what that can be, and allowing some of my uh, patternings or triggers or conditioning to it at that point it had been safe enough for long enough that it was able to I was able to relearn what structure could look like. And then now that we're in 2025, you say like you're cleaning up whatever's coming up next. For me, I am now at a point where I'm not lost in what my structure is. I'm not relearning what structure could be. Now I'm creating structure. And so I'm in a place where I'm safe enough and I've been nurtured enough to be able to create that structure. To me, that's still cleaning up like you said, cleaning up all the rest of the things that I need to be able to create something that is solid, that is safe, that is honoring and respecting my inner beloved, which for me is a lot of heart-centered things. Whenever the heart was broken, I need respect and honor to be able to restructure those things. So that just made a lot of sense to me with the years and the time frames you gave. So I'll just hop back on here. So if there's anything else that comes up in the next few minutes, make sure just to jot it down, make a note for yourself. This is a good place to anything you picked up from our conversation today to write your own journal prompts like this. Whatever notes you took, you can create your own free flow journaling from that. And what I mean by free flow journaling is you can have a topic or an idea and whatever your word is. So I could use scattered, or I could use structure, or I could use inner beloved or motherhood, where I can add all of them together and just make that the topic of my page and then just start writing. If you just start writing and with curiosity and just let yourself be a little bit curious, you can ask yourself a couple of questions like, when was the first time I felt scattered? Or what does structure mean to me? Or what's the definition of motherhood? What does inner beloved need? Just basic things. One question can really just open up a lot of things. And if you just get to writing that free flow, a lot of things will end up coming out that you didn't make up in your conscious mind. They just start flowing out of your non-conscious and flowing out of your heart, and you're able to see those spiritual aspects of the things that you're writing, because spirituality is just putting meaning to the seemingly mundane. So we always like to close circle with one word that you are now taking away after we've shared with each other and received each other's medicine and each other's everything that input. We just think of one word that we are now unstitching our circle with. I'll let Katie go first on her word of what she's unstitching with, and then we will sign off.
Again, I feel like I get a lot of power from the group and what is revealed just amongst us. And so I will take inner beloved with me, definitely. And I saw that touched each one of us. And so I think everyone can take what they would like from the circle, but consider remembering that as you go.
I love that. I'm going to take the word illumination, your ideas and heartfelt sharing gave me new ideas on how I can move forward in my quest for courage to individuate and truly express myself. Thank you.
Mine, through my process, I started with scattered, but now I am already into creation is my word to end with. And the reason why is because when I used to be scattered in that structure, once I am looking back and I've done all the healing I needed to do to be able to be safe enough to create, a lot of times when we're working on the app, I think about what is it I have to do to make this happen? And so that's not the place I want to function from. Because that feels scattered and lost and unsafe and unsupported. the place I want to actually act and be present in is that creation. For me, that creation mode is where the magic happens, and it's something it's points that I see that come together, and the synchronicities that come together that aren't forced. When you have that solid structure, then you can have that creative flow. So I went from scattered to creation. So this was a lovely circle, and I'm excited to do many more of these with you ladies and also see how our group grows in the future. I hope that everyone has a really good understanding of who it is that we are and what we are doing here. And I'm looking forward to the next. And please feel free to share this app and this community. It is free in the content within the app with your friends and loved ones. And then you can also become part of that community and part of that bigger conversation within yourselves and your own friendships and communities and women's circles within your own containers. So I just want to say thank you for joining us, and we are looking forward to the next time we get to share our medicine. Thank you.